Hi, so today we're going to talk about cadences, okay? I'm not going to go now. A cadence this could be a very long, elaborate video, but I'm going to make a quick, short video just to explain what a cadence is and how you can use it just a little bit. There are four main types of cadences, but we're going to go over two today. All right. So a cadence is basically like it's like a structural end to a harmony using chords. Okay, so if I was playing something, I'm like, I sound like I finished, right? That would be a cadence. It could be done in a melody as well, but it's mostly done using chords. Okay. Now the first type of cadence is called a perfect cadence, which is the one I just played. And the rule is that you go from the 5 chord, the 5th chord that you have in your scale. So I'm playing in G major right now. So G is my first chord, it's a major. My second chord is A minor. So that's my 2. My 3 is B minor. My 4 is C. My 5 is D. My 6 is E minor. And my 7 is a F sharp diminished, which we're not going to use. But what we're doing is we're taking the first chord, the G, and we're going to mess around with the other chords that we have to go along with that. All right. So when we could be playing anything, right? We're in the key of G. So G is the chord we're going to end on. Now, in order to create that cadence sound, right, or a perfect cadence, we'd have to go from the 5th chord, which is D, or it could be D7 to G. And you can hear that. It really sounds like we've come to the end of it. It's final, right? It's finalized. We go D to G. We're done. See you later, right? And the D7 also gives that it's a very strong type of cadence as well, because it has that tension in there. Cool. So now it's like, all right, if you were playing a show and you did that, people might just get up and leave because they think you're done, right? But you could use that to end a part of a song, end a song, or just use it, in general, in writing a song. Right, where you plan to do that at the end, but you can have it in the middle of the song somewhere. So that is a perfect cadence. That's from 5 to 1. And it could be 5, the 7th, like D7, right, to 1. Or it could just be the regular 5 chord to the 1 chord. Okay, so that's in G major. If we're doing this in, let's say, C major, C would be our 1 chord. But our 5th chord is going to be G. So it would be G, right? So, or we could do like a G7. Now I know our ears have to get adjusted to this new key change, right? So just play something in C for a second and go, okay, we've made that adjustment. Now check it out. If we do this G7, when we get to that C, we go, oh yeah, it does sound finished, right? Or if we played this G7 all the way up here. Or if we just played a regular G now. Boom, we're done. So you do have to remember though, when we're using cadences, right? When you're in that key, make sure that you're not just playing those 2 chords, right? Otherwise, like for instance, in this, that could be a different cadence in the key of G if we went a different way. But now let's talk about, so we did the perfect cadence. Now let's talk about the imperfect cadence, okay? So it would basically just be a flip-flop of the chords. Instead of going from 5 to 1, we're going to go from 1 to 5. So we're still in the key of G, right? But now what we're going to do is we're going to go from 1 it's called an imperfect cadence for that reason. It feels like, okay, maybe we've gotten somewhere, but I don't feel we've gotten there yet. Okay, so it does give this something has to, it's not a complete, that's why it's called imperfect. It's not a complete, we're done, pack up your bags, get out, time to go. It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like, okay, we could stop here. Let's take a break, but I know we're gonna have to go back to it. That's the kind of feeling you get here. Watch. So you get that, okay, we could end off for a minute, but we got to finish up. We're not done, right? It's like, you're building a house. You don't do it in one day, but you get to a good point and you say, okay, we're done for today. We'll finish whatever we can do tomorrow. And that would be the imperfect cadence. Okay, so remember when you're using these cadences, or if you're experimenting with ways to really like drive home the song is over or this part is over, make sure that what you're using does incorporate maybe another chord somewhere, so that way it has some kind of context, so that way it's not just those two chords flip-flopping. Because like using G and D, we could go either way depending on the chord that would be in the middle, right? So if I'm going G, A, D, you go, oh, yeah, look at that. That sounds done. That's because we're in the key of D now. And that's a whole different, it's still a cadence, and that was a perfect cadence right there, but in the key of D. So if we're just going G, D, G, D, it doesn't really determine which one is really going to be the home chord, right? Or the key or the keynote chord that we are going to, right? So as long as we throw another chord in there, it gives us that context saying, okay, oh, we're in that key, right? Like you might not say, oh, we're in the key of G because you played this chord, but you would at least, your ears would understand it. Your mind's going to understand, okay, so when we get to this chord, it's going to sound finished, right? So if I'm just messing around with this C chord here, now putting that C chord in there before the D really gave it context that once we get to that D chord, we can feel it pulling to the G chord, right? And that would be the way to do it. I mean, we could just do this D7. We would know. But if we only played those two chords back and forth, you have to throw another chord in there somewhere at some point. So that's it. That's the entire video. That's cadences. I'll make another one talking about the other kinds of cadences that there are. We'll have some fun with those. Let me know your thoughts if this helped you in the comments. All right, so comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that way you can stay updated on all these videos and any other videos that come out. Thanks for watching.